Hi everybody, Smeet from Smeet Productions here, and welcome to another episode of From the Game Throne. This is a small feature I'd like to call 5-minute feedback, in which I give you a short review of something that I've recently played or I'm currently playing through, just to see what your guys' thoughts on it are, give you my impressions, and so on and so forth. This is a review of The Division, which has just been in the closed beta, published by Ubisoft, and to be honest, I was really impressed. The graphical quality of the game is quite astounding, despite the fact that it had visual cutbacks from the E3 tech demos that were released. Obviously that was running on a high-end PC. Things like snow melting when a hot bullet case lands in them, that has disappeared. The dynamic lighting and dynamic reflections have disappeared. However, the game still stands up well, especially given the restrictions of working with the Xbox One and to a lesser extent the PS4. I'm not sure about the PC version, I didn't get a chance to try it yet, but with the public beta coming up, I'll try and get some footage of that too. The good. The team-based combat feels very tight, especially for an online shooter. Compared to things like Borderlands and Destiny, the bullets actually feel like you're doing some damage to your opponents. I've got more to say on that a bit later though. It forces you to work with a strong team dynamic, especially in the harder difficulties. You've got healers, DPS, snipers. Nothing in the way of tanks, though I guess being a shooter that doesn't really make much sense yet. Maybe there'll be vehicles later on. I doubt it given the way the game's designed. It feels, like I said, it feels like a shooter, which is great. Borderlands and Destiny style games tend to be fun, but it literally feels like you're trying to drain a health bar down as opposed to take an enemy down at times, and that can be quite repetitive and boring. This one actually feels again like a shooter. The bullets seem to have a weight behind them. The different enemies you'll come across, bolters or chargers, whatever you like to call them, grenadiers, elites and veterans. The chargers will run into your group right next to you, hit you with a baseball bat, causing you to be moved out of position, stunned or damaged quite heavily. You've got grenadiers. Whilst the grenades don't have that much weight to them, what they will do is force you out of a position, making you vulnerable to everyone else, which is especially dangerous when you're up against also elites and veterans. Your veterans are just hardcore versions of the normal bad guys from what I can see, and the elites are kind of like in Diablo, where you come against a named enemy and they are tough as shit, and basically you have to work together to really take their health down quickly before they overpower you. Also, very easy to find your friends online. There's a button literally to let you join in with your group of friends, and if you do get kicked out of the server, which I'll mention again in a bit, you can join back in as long as you're quick enough. The bad. The free roaming seems a little empty, especially in the normal zone. You've got normal zone and dark zone. In the normal zone, it seems like there's not much to do, especially once you've cleared out a lot of the objectives, and there are definitely a few connection issues during the beta, as you can see here. It happened quite frequently. I've had some internet connection problems at home, but again, a lot of it was saying the Division services are no longer available, which was annoying, especially if you were like balls deep in a mission, but it wasn't too bad. I'm worried about how they'll keep it feeling like a shooter. I mentioned this a couple of times. What I really liked is it felt like you were actually hurting the enemies with your weapons as opposed to just slowly draining off their health. I'm worried about how they'll keep that going, because at the end of the day, those enemies are going to have to get tougher to keep up the challenge. And as that challenge increases, is it going to start feeling like Borderlands all over again, or Destiny, whichever you prefer. I hope that they'll add missions into the Dark Zone as well, just to make it a bit more dynamic rather than just searching for enemies. Okay, so you've got the normal zone, which is literally your PvE zone. Everyone's friendly, you can't hurt each other. And then you've got the dark zone, which is a whole area where all of the items, like you can see on the screen right now, they are contaminated. You can only carry 6 at a time in a little biohazard bag. You must then extract them. You saw a few extraction videos earlier on. An extraction gets called in when you launch a flare from a specific area, and then you have about a minute and a half for it to arrive. However, everyone in the area knows that you have called in this extraction. As it's in the dark zone, you can be killed. When you die in the dark zone, the items that you have on you drop on the floor. What this means is when you call in the extraction, everybody knows you're trying to get your items back to safety, and they can come and kill you. If they do, they turn rogue, as this guy in front of us that you can see. That means they can then be shot at without penalty. If you shoot someone who's innocent, another agent or player, then you become a rogue, which makes you vulnerable to be killed, and your items then go on the line too. It's a good system. It needs a little bit of tweaking. You get a couple of bullets by accident and you'll go red but not rogue. After that you'll turn rogue. It seems like it can be abused. That being said though, overall the dark zone is where the game is at, running around looking for more better items like any end game. It's really fun and it puts you on edge a lot more. and it's a lot more involving. This has been a review, a very quick review from the Game Throne, and here's a video of my friend Ross shooting the floor in some kind of weird glitch. Thanks for watching. Bye.